guys. Hey, we're going to be doing some service on the old Yamaha Kodiak back here. You've seen it on the channel for years. We've had this bike for probably 6 years or so, and I've always changed the oil every couple of years. That's about all I've done to it. Tuned up the carb once. When I first got it, it needed some work. Other than that, it's been kind of a tractor. It's been just kind of something we used to do work around the property with and have some fun with. But today we're going to start, I'm going to do a service on this thing that's basically going to be from, front to back. We're going to do differential fluid, oil, or engine oil, coolant, and then brake fluid. So we're going to start with the differential oil. So follow along, it's going to be kind of fun. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do on this unit. It's a little bit different than I've noticed than some of the Kodiaks or the Grizzlies, and then actually some of the other Kodiaks as well, the way you do, especially the front differential fluid. It's a little bit different. I haven't seen any good instructions on it. It does take some precise measuring, but follow along. I'm going to show you how to do it. Got all the good stuff here. I got the Yamaha pre-diluted blue coolant. Always blue always looks cool. Got some engine oil. I have another half quart over there that I had from a previous oil change. Oh, the other thing I was going to do is see how this stuff works. I'm going to clean out the air filter. That needs a little work. I actually have another air filter, so I'm going to do 2 of them and then have a spare. Looks like I got some Yamaha spec brake fluid here, oil filter, all Yamaha stuff, good stuff. I even have, reach in here, I got some seals here too. These are the crush washer kind. So anytime I have a crush washer, I'll try to replace that as well. What else do we got? I got some. I did have some transmission fluid that I already had previously purchased years ago. So this is some 80 weight 90, I believe. Friction modified stuff. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Yeah, GO45. Good stuff right here. So that'll be part of the process. And then, so for the first thing we're going to do is go under here, and this is the front of the bike right here. Course. And then there is going to be a plug right underneath this first hole right here, and I'm not going to be able to get up under there and show it to you exactly, but that's where the drain plug is. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so on my particular model, I showed you this hole right down here. I have a 5mm Allen head kind of socket attachment here with a little bit of an extension. I'm going to go in here, just right under this hole right here. I'm going to try to climb under there and see. Should not be too tight. The torque spec on this is very low, so hopefully it's not crazy tight. There, that's it. So it wasn't very tight at all. Actually, I'm going to take the socket, this extension off of here now, and we're going to get this oil flowing here. Get that pan under here. It's going to be a big mess here in a second, I'm sure. Get it done. Here it comes. Thick stuff. Actually looks, well, it's a little goopy, but well, there's not a lot of. It's a tiny little plug. Look how small that plug is. It's tiny, tiny. And actually the oil looks okay. I mean, you can see it coming out. It's not like, a bunch of chunks coming out, but it is kind of a little bit dark. Not too bad. It's coming out there. So we're gonna let that drain for quite a while. It's very thick. It's like an 80 weight oil. So here I'm going to just inspect the plug and the seal here. It doesn't look super torn up. It looks like it was put on a little bit off center actually. Just kind of making sure everything, looks good. There's no junk in there. Make sure the threads are clear. This thing's, it's just a small little plug actually. It's not very big. Okay, the other thing you're going to need is a 21mm socket. I'm going to use the same extension. It's just a short extension. You might need a different thing here, but that should come right out. That's out. so that let some air, this will help it drain too. So we're going to pull that out, not losing that seal. You'll want to take this crush washer off right here, if you can get it off. This thing, I might have to take this over to the bench and like pry it off of there. Hopefully, maybe I can just kind of unscrew it. Oh, there we go. That'll work. So that's obviously, can't reuse that. So I'm gonna go grab another one and set it on there and get it ready. Is it still dripping? It really isn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up. This drain plug now, it's 7 foot-pounds, which I don't have a torque wrench that goes down that low, unfortunately. But I kind of know how tight it is. You just don't want to go crazy with it. I'm not going to show you it real close, but you get the idea. Just don't go crazy with it. It's not a real big bolt, and I just lost it. Make sure my seal is on there still. That's good. Okay, get your copper washer on there. All right, here we go. Now cross-threaded. Get your service ratchet out here. Not a very big one, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a. It was in there, you know, but I'd say that's probably plenty. Okay, we'll check for leaks. Okay, so it calls for 350 milliliters, 0.35 liters, and I'm going to use a measuring cup on this thing, and I'm going to fill it up to actually 355 milliliters, okay? Just because there's going to be a little bit left over in the cup and in the funnel, and I'll just get a little bit more in there. I think it'll be okay. Okay, we obviously see the hole right there. I'm going to just put a simple funnel in there. I got this thin funnel that seems to fit. Seems to look like it's going to fit pretty good. We're just going to pour it in. I'm going to kind of hold on to it so it doesn't spill. Because you can't, like I said, you can't really, just got kind of one shot at this because you can't, there's nothing to test it with. So I'm just going to pour it on in. Slow, slow, slow. And get it all in there. Should go right on in. And we're pretty darn close. See, there's a lot left in the, there's a bit left in the container, but that's why I put a little bit of extra in there. So it should probably be exact, you know, pretty much exactly. And it's not rocket science, guys. Like, it's not going to explode if you get a half a mil out. It'll be fine. That's good. Now I got my my bolt and my new crush washer on there. I'm going to stick that on there. If I can. Maybe. There we go. I'm just going to put that on there. Alright, so I'm going to use a torque wrench here. The torque is about 11. Now I know my torque wrench is about 4 pounds light, so, and it only starts at 15. So I'm going to just go at 15 and just kind of like make sure we are somewhere in the ballpark here. Again, probably going to be okay. I know it's probably going to be about, yeah, it's probably going to be about 11, right at the bottom of the limit here. So I'm going to crank that down. Let's go ahead and get that. Let's get this thing locked. And this is a 21 inch or a 21 millimeter socket. So we're going to do that right now. I found this torque wrench on eBay, and it's virtually a brand new wrench. So there we go. It's starting to crush that washer. So there's no, oh, there we go. See, watch. There we go. We're at no more than 15 pounds, but I know this thing's about 4 pounds shy. The thing about these old torque wrenches, if you can find an old snap-on torque wrench, this one's from the early 80s. I have a friend who has a torque tester and he sees a lot of these in there. And the simple rule is the older the better. They're more accurate. I know that this thing's about 4 to 5 pounds light all through the range, which is fine because I know that, but it doesn't jump up and down. So I know that we can actually make the adjustment and it'll be perfectly accurate. So as long as you know where it's at, I don't need it to be certified or anything, but you know, now it's locking in right on that. So it's good to know. It's good to know about these things. And he said, just get an old one, you know. And I got this for about $100, and I don't think anybody ever used this. Maybe once. I've used it more probably since I've owned it than it had its whole life. So people put them in their toolboxes thinking they're going to use them. Well, I use the 3/8 one all the time. I am still in search of a quarter drive though. I'd like to have those inch pounds. So pretty cool little wrench. All right, so guys, the front differential is now done. It's a complete service on that. I have the torque, you know, all that the cover bolts torqued down, and we're good to go. So the front is done. Super straightforward. You just got to measure that out. It's not as easy as some of them where it just drains out when you're full. So just remember that on some of these older Kodiaks. Of course, now we're going to move on to the next logical step here, which is the rear drive. Now I have a, let me get this in focus. Of course, I have a solid rear axle, so you independent rear suspension guys will be a little bit different. It'll probably be a similar procedure to the front, probably use the same amount. This uses a bit less fluid apparently, about 1/4 of a quart. And you just fill it up. It's even more simple. So I got to pull off that bottom plate, and then I've got to drain the oil and then do the same thing. So I'm going to get that off and get started. So looks like a series of number 12 bolts here to get this bottom plate off before I can drain it out. Got to get to that drain plug. Those aren't tight. There's one. What do we got? What do we got back here? Anything else? Oh, there's one. There's one up front. That's nice. So we've now exposed the, I'll show you right here. Now, expose the drain plug. Right there. So the back one's a little bit bigger. The plug is much bigger. Let's pop that out. Okay, it's out. Cool. Man, that thing really was tough. Okay. That hasn't been broken loose in a long time. So here we go. Get the seal. About the same. Alright, so while that's draining, same deal. I've already kind of loosened this one up a little bit. We're going to get this thing off of here just so it breaks the vacuum a little bit. Go ahead and undo that guy. And that'll help it drain. Looks like the other crush washer's right there. So, final drive, drain bolt 16. So I'm going to go to 20 on my little torque wrench over here. Let's crank that up to 20 because I know I'm 4 off. So let's just do it right. Maybe I'll go a little bit under, 1 pound under, just to balance it out. It's basically just tight. It's not real super critical. It's a crush washer, so it's usually just fine. Hear that? There's the clicky. Now we know we're good. So 250 is what I'm going for here. Let's just pour her in there and get it going. Should be at the brim of the filler hole. Yeah, well, okay. I don't like that, but let's see where we're at. Yeah, see, it seems to be, you know, we're at 2 250. Let's see, we are at, well, we got a little more we could put in. I'm going to put a little bit more in there, and then from there we'll see where we're at. I think it's a little, I don't know. I don't like filling it to the very top, but we do have a little more we can put in before it's technically, it should be about, it should be pretty darn close now. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Well, so what do? The spec says a quarter of a quart. It also says to fill it to the top of the hole. So I don't know. I'm going to see where we're at here. Okay, so I decided to kind of split the difference. I got a quarter quart of oil in here recommended, and then I'm going to top it up just a little bit more. So it's pretty close, but it is just over a quarter quart, which is what they recommend, 0.23 quarts. So I'm a bit over that, so I'm just kind of making sure that it's not overfilled. So I'm just going to let it kind of settle out here, and yeah, that should be it. Then, all right, so everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this thing down. Good stuff. All right. There's two of them holding this guard on. So it goes right there. You can see that. That's one, and then the other one's just up front. That. Only two bolts. I put a little bit of anti-seize on there. Just a little bit. Because it's pretty stiff. It's pretty corroded up here. You know, it's underneath the bike. Let's see if that helps. There's one. That should be pretty tight, pretty good. All right, that's it. Okay. Okay, so that is the conclusion of the differential fluid service for the Yamaha Kodiak 400 2004, and I'm assuming there's several other models that are like that, especially with the solid axle rear end. So that pretty much concludes the differential. All right, so the next video will be the oil change on the Kodiak.